Hi people, it's me, Anja, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. I'm currently pre-filming this video December 27th, so these are some of the last books that I read in 2023. So without any further ado, the first book on this list is called Heartstopper Volume 5. As everyone knows, I'm a big Heartstopper fan, so naturally I was so excited to read this book. However, reading this book after watching the first 2 seasons of the show previously was very interesting because now I think of the universes of the books versus the show as very different, even though it follows the same characters. For example, within the book universe, the story itself is much shorter, and some of the side characters' storylines are less expanded upon, if that makes any sense. Like, Taylor and Elle and Tao and Darcy are much more expanded upon in the show rather than in the books, so that's something to get used to, you know what I mean? But overall, I did really enjoy this book too. It's just that, personally for me, I do prefer volumes 3 and 4 over this one, but I do love, like, their communication and their love. Nick and Charlie will always be very special to me. It's just that now, I will say, I am more excited for season 3 of the show than volume 6, if that makes any sense. But overall, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend the series. The next book on this list is called Love Radio. This story is a YA contemporary following 2 main characters, where the guy convinces the girl that he can fall in love with her after only 3 dates, which sounds like a really absurd idea, honestly, but overall, this book was really good. But before I get into that, there is a trigger warning on this book for sexual assault, so please be wary of that if you are a survivor of sexual assault. Overall, this book was really good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The family dynamics were so wholesome and so well done. Both characters are both so individually well developed, and I enjoyed them both individually before they started to fall in love with each other, if that makes any sense. The romance is so cute, and it's unbelievably, like, adorable, and their chemistry and their connection made so much sense. And I just enjoyed it so much. The plot is so well paced. This story is really well done. I just love reading, like, happy, fluffy, go-lucky, black love stories. This book is so good, and it's so underrated, and it deserves so much more hype. So anyway, with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Twin Clowns. This story is a YA fantasy following a pair of twin sisters who were separated at birth, where one was raised to be the clown princess and the other one was raised to kidnap the clown and to avenge their parents. So basically, like, opposite goals. This book was good and I enjoyed it. For example, the world building was excellent and it was really, like, well thought out and well researched, kind of. I don't really know if that makes any sense since it's fantasy, but basically, like, everything made sense, so that was really nice. The plot is engaging and it was intriguing, and the 2 characters are both so well developed and distinct, and I definitely understood how they were siblings while also being different from each other, if that makes any sense. Like, it's like when you watch Liv and Maddie and you think that Dove Cameron has a twin sister in real life, because the 2 characters are very different from each other, but they're also similar too, since they are related. I don't really know if that's a great analogy, but anyway, the point is, this book is very much like a rom-com, and it's definitely more romance-driven than I was expecting, although I did enjoy their individual romances. Like, they were well-paced and cute and based on chemistry and connection. It's just that for me, personally, I rated this book 3 stars, just because I realized through this book that I just prefer, like, higher stakes fantasies where they're not so romance-driven, but that's just a personal taste for me. So anyway, overall, I rated this book 3 stars. I won't be reading the sequel, so take that as you will. The next book on this list is called Ruthless Vows. This book, if you didn't know, is a YA historical fantasy sequel to Divine Rivals. Actually, it's kind of more of a new adult, since the characters are adults rather than being minors. But anyway, this book is absolutely so excellent, and it's so emotional, and it's such a great, awesome sequel. Typically, sequels, historically, aren't as good as the first one, because it's like the fallout of the foundation. I don't really know if that makes any sense, but this book was so good. In fact, I think this book is better than Divine Rivals, and that's why I rated it 5 stars, because I absolutely loved every single second of it. I love these characters, I love the romance, I love the friendships, I love the family dynamics. The plot is amazing, the world building is so fascinating and so enchanting. Everything about this book is so perfect. It's literally so well done. I was so emotionally connected to literally everything that was happening. I love the magic. I love everything about it. Like, this book is so fantastic and it's so good and it's so emotional and it made me cry. Like, I love this book so much. It's absolutely so excellent and it's so good. So anyway, if you loved Divine Rivals as much as I did, I know that you're gonna love this book too, because I think this book is better than the first one. So anyway, with all that said, I rated this book 5 stars, and I clearly absolutely loved it so much. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Becoming a Queen. This story is a YA contemporary following a young gay high school who turns to love, self-expression, and drag after he goes through the unthinkable. This story is absolutely so excellent and so brilliant. Like, the writing felt so poetic and so well done. It felt like a great, like, coming-of-age movie, and not like those cheesy ones that your parents make you watch in the hopes that you're gonna like them as much as they did, but you don't. But one of the ones that you actually genuinely enjoy. Like, this book was so good. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The romance is so cute and so well paced, and it felt absolutely so lovely and so well done. The family dynamics are so wholesome, especially like the main character's relationship with his brother. Some of the side friendships I think should have been more fleshed out, but overall this book was really good. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it so much, because if you didn't know, this book was actually on my April TBR, and I DNF'd it then in April. But I'm so glad that I gave it a second chance, because it felt so good and cohesive and lyrical and beautiful and poetic. So anyway, with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed it. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, I'm filming this the day before I'm going on vacation, so if my thoughts seem more chaotic and more disorganized than usual, that's why. But anyway, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, these are some of the last books that I read in 2023, because I'm pre-filming this December 27th. I can't quite say that these are the last books that I read last year, because I know that I'm going to read a couple more in the last few days of the year. But anyway, the point is, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the swan emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video.